Listening Fill in the Blanks.
Let's start.
It has been almost 100 years since Francis Arthur Bainbridge's seminal observation that right atrial distension in anesthetized dogs results in an acute increase in heart rate, Bainbridge, 1915, and 50 years since Klaus Deck showed a similar positive chronotropic response to stretch in the isolated sinoatrial node of rabbit and cat, Deck, 1964. This was followed by analogous findings from Raymond Kaufman and Ursula Ravens, Nathiophilia, in isolated Purkinje fibers of rhesus. Olympic Games, athletic festival that originated in ancient Greece and was revived in the late 19th century. Before the 1970s, the Games were officially limited to competitors with amateur status, but in the 1980s, many events were open to professional athletes. Currently, the Games are open to all, even the top professional athletes in basketball and football, soccer. The ancient Olympic Games included several of the sports that are now part of the Summer Games program, which at times has included events in as many as 32 different sports. In 1924, the Winter Games were sanctioned for winter sports. The Olympic Games have come to be regarded as the world's foremost sports competition. Computer once meant a person who did computations, but now the term almost universally refers to automated electronic machinery. The first section of this article focuses on modern digital electronic computers and their design, constituent parts, and applications. The second section covers the history of computing. For details on computer architecture, software, and theory, see computer science. Clothing, also known as clothes, garments, dress, apparel, or attire, is any item worn on the body. Typically, clothing is made of fabrics or textiles, but over time it has included garments made from animal skin and other thin sheets of materials and natural products found in the environment, put together. The wearing of clothing is mostly restricted to human beings, and is a feature of all human societies. The amount and type of clothing worn depends on gender, body type, social factors, and geographic considerations. Garments cover the body, footwear covers the feet, gloves cover the hands, while hats and headgear cover the head, and underwear covers the private parts. Americans process transactions electronically by receiving paychecks through direct deposits, moving money from one account to another via electronic fund transfers, or spending money with credit cards and debit cards. The U.S. financial market has a robust infrastructure for transacting electronic money, which includes payment processing networks, such as Visa and MasterCard. Prepaid cards and digital wallets like PayPal and Square likewise allow users to deposit fiat currency for electronic money. Electronic money allows for immediate transactions through e-commerce. Finally, in many of the cases described here, the patient with music brain symptoms is reported to have normal EEG results. Although Sachs recognizes the existence of new technologies, among them far more sensitive ways to analyze brain waves than the standard neurological EEG test, he does not call for their use. In fact, although he exhibits the greatest compassion for patients, he conveys no sense of urgency about the pursuit of new avenues in the diagnosis and treatment of music brain disorders. This absence echoes the book's preface, in which Sachs expresses fear that the simple art of observation may be lost if we rely too much on new technologies. He does call for both approaches, though, and we can only hope that the neurological community will respond. Phone addiction, sometimes colloquially known as nomophobia, fear of being without a mobile phone, is often fueled by an internet overuse problem or internet addiction disorder. After all, it's rarely the phone or tablet itself that creates the compulsion, but rather the games, apps, and online worlds it connects us to. A youth is someone who is not a child anymore and has reached adulthood or just about to do so. At this age, most youth possess the curiosity and excitement of a young child and knowledge of an adult. The future of a country is dependent on its youth. Thus, a lot of emphasis should be given on nurturing the children in the right way so that they turn into a responsible youth. Youths provide the driving force to a nation and contribute to its economical and social progress. Role of youths in nation building is very important, and without the contribution of youths a nation can never progress. The concept of traditional education has changed radically within the last couple of years. Being physically present in a classroom isn't the only learning option anymore, not with the rise of the internet and new technologies, at least. Nowadays, you have access to a quality education whenever and wherever you want, as long as you can get online. We are now entering a new era, the revolution of online education. Common items in e-waste streams include computers, mobile phones, large household appliances, and medical equipment. Millions of tons of e-waste are recycled using unsound activities, as well as being stored in homes and warehouses, dumped, and illegally exported. When e-waste is recycling using unsound activities, it can release up to 1,000 different chemical substances into the environment, including known neurotoxicants such as lead. 3. Pregnant women and children are particularly vulnerable due to their pathways of exposure and developmental status. The International Labour Organization, ILO, estimates that 16.5 million children were working in the industrial sector in 2020, of which waste processing is a subsector.